today we're looking at something pretty special coming out of Uganda. It's a plan to build a brand new agricultural economy, basically from scratch. It's called Digi-Kilimo, and honestly, it's a radical rethinking of how a country can feed its people, grow its economy, and really lift up its farmers. So let's just paint a picture here. On the left, that's the reality for a lot of agricultural economies right now, right? It's fragmented, it's inefficient, and everyone is just constantly putting out fires. But on the right, that's the vision. A single, connected system that's smart, that's data-driven, and that can actually predict what's coming. And that leap from one to the other is exactly what we're going to break down. All right, so here's our roadmap. We'll kick things off with the big challenge Uganda's up against. Then we'll get into the solution, this wild idea of a national operating system. From there, we'll follow the journey from the farm itself to the AI brain behind it all, to a totally zero-waste engine. And finally, what this could mean for the entire country. Okay, first up, Uganda's agricultural challenge. And the main takeaway here is that we're not just talking about individual farmers having a tough time. Nope. This is about a whole system that's disconnected and it's holding everybody back. And this right here shows you exactly what that broken system looks like. I mean, just think about it. You've got farmers who can't get a fair price. A massive amount of food rots before anyone can even buy it. And you can't get a loan because, in the eyes of a bank, you barely exist. But the biggest one? A total lack of real-time data. Everyone from the farmer in the field to the officials in the government is basically flying blind. So how on earth do you fix a problem that big? Well, the answer they've come up with is Digi-Kilimo. And it is so important to get this. This isn't just another program or an app, it's a whole new framework, an entire ecosystem designed to work as one single organism. The heart of the idea is something called a National Agricultural Operating System, or NAOS. The best way to think about it is like the operating system on your phone or your computer. Windows or iOS doesn't do everything itself, but it makes sure the hardware, the apps, the internet, it all plays nice together. That's exactly what NAOS is designed to do, but for a whole country's food system. So how does an operating system for a country even work? Well, it's built on 4 layers that all lock together. You have to start with the physical layer, actual buildings, roads, collection centers. That infrastructure then powers the digital layer, which is like the traffic controller for everything. Once you have that, you can switch on the financial layer, embedding payments right into the system. And then, sitting on top, you have the intelligence layer, an AI that sees everything and makes the whole system smarter. All right, enough with the abstract stuff. Let's make this real. We're going to follow how one single farmer, doing their everyday work, can become the spark that powers this massive digital and financial engine. And it all starts right here. A farmer brings their harvest, not to some random middleman, but to a local, trusted collection center. This is the first handshake. This is the moment the real world plugs into the digital world. And then, boom, the payoff is immediate. Their produce gets weighed and graded, and the money gets sent straight to their mobile wallet, instantly. No waiting weeks for a check, no haggling over prices. It's clean, it's transparent, and it builds trust from the very first interaction. And right here is the magic link. That one physical delivery doesn't just result in a payment, it creates a data point. What crop was it? How much? Who grew it? Where? With every single transaction, that farmer is building a digital history, a financial identity, maybe for the very first time. So we have all this data flowing in from thousands of farmers. What do we do with it? Well, it all feeds into the brain of the operation, the AI-powered economic engine they call the Eagle AI. And this is where the system gets really, really smart. It's not just about tracking things, it's about solving problems before they spiral out of control. So instead of a farmer losing half their crop to a pest, the AI sends an alert with a solution. Or if way too many people are planting sunflowers when the market actually needs maize, the AI can nudge farmers in the right direction. It turns farming from guesswork into a guided science. Now you might be thinking, this sounds great for a tech expert, but here's what makes it work. All of this powerful advice isn't buried in some complicated app. It's delivered through simple voice and text messages. And this is key, in local languages. It makes sure that this incredible tool is for everyone, not just a select few. But the system's intelligence doesn't just stop when the crop is harvested. It's also designed to create value from every single thing that's produced. We're talking about a zero-waste value engine. Which brings up a huge question. In a normal system, what happens to all the leftovers? The maize stalks, the fruit peels, all that stuff. It's usually just seen as waste, something to get rid of. But in this ecosystem, That's not waste. That's a resource. And here's what they do with it. That waste gets turned into wealth. Maize cobs become biomass fuel. Cow dung gets turned into biogas for cooking. The waste from sugarcane processing actually powers the factories themselves. Literally nothing is thrown away. It just becomes an input for something else in the system. And that creates this incredible feedback loop. Farmers are now making money from stuff they used to just throw out. And at the same time, this system is literally generating its own power, making the whole thing more resilient and self-sufficient. It is a perfect circular economy. Okay, so we've seen all the individual pieces, the farmer, the AI, the circular economy. Now, let's zoom the camera all the way out. What does all of this mean for the country as a whole? Well, this chart gives you a pretty good idea of the economic firepower. When you stop wasting food, add more value to your crops, and create entirely new industries from byproducts, you see a huge jump in farmer income, a big boost in exports, and, crucially, a lot of new jobs for young people and small businesses. But the impact is so much bigger than just the economy. You're talking about better food security for the whole nation. You're bringing millions of people into the formal financial system. You're building an agricultural sector that can better withstand climate change. And for the very first time, the government has the data to make truly smart decisions. And all of this leaves us with one final, really big question. Sure, Digi-Kilimo is designed specifically for Uganda. But could this whole approach, this idea of treating a nation's entire agricultural sector like one single, intelligent operating system, could that be the blueprint for how other countries build their food systems for the 21st century? It's a pretty powerful thought.